Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I have Raphael from the Last Ronin from NECA. Now, this figure is 100% awesome and I will explain how he's awesome and show y'all everything about him. But if y'all notice right here in the background, I have a whole bunch of the other Last Ronin figures. And I will be doing a review on all of them. I've already posted a picture of all of them. Some are new, some aren't. Now, I will be collecting all of them so that, you can see which ones you want, how the picture looks on the sides, which I think you can already see from the background right now. And I know you can see that guy in the back too. I'll also be doing a review on him right after this, so stay tuned for that. But besides that, let's just go ahead and get into this box. Now, right here in the back, we got some shots of Raphael. This is the figure, so we have him here in some crazy cool action poses. Then right here we have the bottom, same thing as all the other figures at the box. There's words on the bottom describing the comic. We have the side box, same thing as the other ones, except at the bottom it has Raphael number 3, and on the front Last Ronin with a cool picture of Raph jumping, fighting Karai. And I'll show y'all how that looks in the next review. Raphael here at the bottom, and then the side portrait of him. Now besides that, let's just go ahead and show y'all what he looks like here opened. Another shot of the figure right here, same one as this one right here in the back. Super cool. Little window display of the figure. Very, very cool. But besides that, there's nothing much to talk about. It's just a box. Great artwork, amazing artwork. I can't hate on it. So let's just go ahead and get him out of the box. And here we have him out of the box and out in front of us, and he looks awesome. The shading and detail on this guy is great. Look at this. Looks so cool, like if he just jumped right out of the comic. Okay, so one thing whenever I was taking him out was this leg right here just popped clean off. Like I'm not sure. See, I don't know if you could see that gap right there, but that gap just, man, it popped clean off. Because look, compared to his left leg, it's supposed to be flush with it, but on this leg, it's not. So I have to push it up, kind of keep it in there, make sure it doesn't fall out. So do be mindful of that whenever you do get your Raphaels. If hopefully, I really hope y'all's aren't going to be like mine and his legs messed up. But besides that, I didn't see anything else. The figure looks really great. We'll get into articulation at the end of the video, of course. His back of his shell, look at that. That looks nice. Right here, he can hold his size. And right now, he doesn't have any alternate heads, alternate hands, or any weapons on him. It's just the figure, and in his amazing glory, looks awesome. The detail on the wrapping, I'm not sure if my camera can pick it up, but it is really, really nice. And then you got his front shell right here. Pouches, none of these pouches open or anything. Some elbow guards. Again, more shading and detailing, like if he jumped right out of the comic. Now, another thing I noticed is with his bandana, I'm not sure. I don't think you can take it out, but it can move. I'll find out if you can do that here in a minute. But besides that, this figure looks awesome. He looks mean, he looks lean, and he is green. So let's just go ahead and get into all of his accessories. And here we have all of his accessories out of the box, out of the packaging, and out on display right here. And like always, I will show y'all how all these accessories look on him, how to put them on, and any differences between certain things. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start off with the heads. We got his default head right here, which is his angry face head right here. Let's see if I can get a good, there we go. Very well detailed, amazing. Look at that. His bandana is movable. Now, I wouldn't recommend you pulling this out because both bandanas are the exact same, almost. This one's just a bit higher than this one, but, you know, they look almost the exact same. So there's really no reason to pull them out, so please do not pull them out. They are movable, though. You can have them like that, to the side, other side, or down. Then we got his yelling face. Now look at that. Look at this head. The detail in it is amazing. The tongue is almost like sticking out. It's not just like a paint in the back. No, this is a full-on tongue in there. Look at that thing. Ugh, nasty. And then you can move his bandana around just like the other head. And again, like the other head, it's amazingly detailed. I don't think there's anything different besides some of the shading right here on the sides. Like, for instance, this one has 2, this one only has 1. And then, of course, whenever his mouth is open, the cheeks rise up. And then right here, too, as well, the shading isn't on this one right here. So the shading is different on both heads a little. Not that much different. The coloring on the heads are the exact same, so that's really good. But besides that, they are really cool and super easy to pop off on the figure. This one was really hard to get out of the box, though, so be mindful of that. Now here we have a kind of like dagger kunai. I'm not really sure what this is, but it looks super cool. It looks like right here you can attach a rope, so maybe from the other Last Ronin figure you can maybe take off the rope and attach it here, or you can just have your Raphael or any other turtle holding it in their hand. Super cool, super nice. Not much to talk about, it's just a silver painted knife. Super cool. Nothing really about shading on this thing, so that's super cool. Now, his size are different. Now, I don't mean they're different from each other, but they're different from the Last Ronin figures. So when it comes down to the size, they are thinner and more smaller, as well as the handles being smaller too. And I'll show you all that here in a minute, what the difference is. But man, these things look awesome. Well wrapped over here in some brown wrapping. The paint and shading on it is great. Mine has a little bit of defect paint right there. A shame, but hey, it's okay. If I have it facing this way, you won't be able to tell. Amazing silver paint right here. Well, I wouldn't say amazing, only because of that small little hole right there of paint. And of course, same thing on the other side. Silver paint right here. Not very sharp, so don't worry about that. And it is bendable a little, so do be careful. It's not meant to bend, but it can if you put enough heat on it. It can bend or warp, so do be mindful of that and make sure y'all don't break that. And I will show y'all how these look on the figure here at the end of this. Now we have an arrow. So if you haven't read the comics, spoiler alert, which I don't think everybody has read. I know I just recently read it. So if you haven't read it, spoiler alert right now. This arrow is shot through his leg or on his shell, because he ends up being shot by a whole bunch of Foot Clan soldiers, which there's another Raphael figure all bloodied up with a whole bunch of arrows in his back. So if you want to get that one, you totally should. The only difference with that is that it won't have the side picture like this Raph does. But besides that, this is one of the arrows that goes through him, and I will show y'all where it goes, how to place it through, so do not worry about that. And it's super cool. Has great detail in the feathering right here. Silver paint at the top for the arrow head. So, super cool. Now, he comes with 4 alternate hands, and these hands look awesome. They are well painted, very well sculpted. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So right here we have like some tiger claw, maybe holding something or climbing something type of hands. And these hands are, again, well painted. You can definitely tell this is wrapping, unlike some other figures, the BST figures. But look at that. These look great. The shading on the fingers, you can tell where the fingernails are, what are the finger knuckles. Super great, super awesome. Same thing with the other side of the hand. Really great shading and paint work from these guys. Now we have his Sai holding hands. Super cool, super awesome. Again, same thing, not really anything different. You can still see the same line as the other one, signifying the knuckle right here. So let's go ahead and show y'all how to put on the Sai, which is super simple. You just slide it through the top, just like that. Nothing too hard, nothing too fancy. You can have it facing like this, or like that, any way you want. Or if you want, maybe you want to have him holding it like this from the bottom. Super cool. And again, I'll show y'all what it looks like on the figure. Now for his third pair of hands, we have a karate chopping hands, maybe ready to fight hands, put together relaxed hands. Look at that. Super cool. And again, painting looks amazing as always with these NECA figures. Super amazing painting. Now here we have his default hands. These are the hands that already come on him, and his fisted hands. Look at these bad boys. You can see some separation in the fingers right there. So they're not completely closed like a real fist, only because he's a turtle. So look at that. Super cool, super awesome. Now, besides that, there's not much to talk about. The accessories are great. I think this is a well amount of accessories for Raphael for sure. So besides that, let's go ahead and show you guys what this all looks like on the figure. And here he is in a cool kind of fighting pose with his alternate head and some alternate hands. Now let's go ahead and talk about it. So as you already know, the alternate head, all the detail about it, but this is what it looks like on the figure. Super cool, super nice. You can move the bandana around, like if he's falling from the air, have him like that, or from the other side. Very cool. I'm glad that you can move that around. Another cool thing is his size. Look at that. That's how they look like in his hands. And then you can also have them flipped upside down. Let me see if I can get that in there. There we go. And have it flipped upside down just like that as well. And that little kunai dagger, still not sure what it is. Let me go ahead and grab that. This little guy right here goes into the same hand. You just slide it on right in there. And there you have it. Just like that. And then you can go ahead and have that from the bottom as well. Just like that. Nope, let me get that out of the way. And now whenever you're storing these things, it's not too bad. It's really good that he's still posable, and I'll show you what I mean by that whenever you have the weapons stored. So you'll have your first Sai go on top, go through this side right here, and it's just a little hole on the side just like that. And then you have your other Sai go like that. And there he is with his Sai stored on his back. And then his little dagger right here. Now, I would be very careful with this because right here is where it's supposed to be stored, and it is a small little gap. So I would be very mindful of that when putting this in. Let me go ahead and see if I can show you. So try not to like really force it in there. Maybe get some hot water or a little blow dryer and kind of like heat it up a little bit just to stretch it out so that you don't break it, since it is a kind of rubbery material to where it can rip if you push on it too hard. And then when taking it out too, I would also be careful of also not ripping and breaking your dagger. So I'd be very careful when taking it out. And it's still movable, it's still posable. It doesn't take away from the mobility of the figure. He can still get into some pretty crazy poses. Still kick up. Oh, speaking of that, there goes his leg. I don't know if y'all remember in the beginning of the video I was telling you how his legs would pop off. But that's okay though. They can just pop right back in. So that's okay. Now, his sai right here is different from the Last Ronin sai. So here I have the Last Ronin from both the armored and unarmored one. Right here, it's a lot thicker, the handle's fatter, and then this one is thinner. This is Raph's sai. So that's kind of, it's a little weird to me, but it's pretty cool. It's still staying comic accurate for him. Whenever they were showing off the turtles' weapons, it was a big, thicker sai, while whenever we're going back to the flashback, it was a lot thinner. So it's still staying comic accurate with the figure, which is pretty cool. But besides that, let's just go ahead and get into his other accessories. And here we have him with his karate chopping hands. Now, I forgot to state that whenever he has his weapons in, they won't fall out even if you shake them. So he's all good. Those weapons will stay in place unless you push on them. But his karate chopping hands, now these hands look super cool. He's getting ready to fight. He's about to get into it with Karai and go down fighting. Look at that. Not much to talk about. We already went over what the hands look like up close. This is just how they look on the figure. So, besides that, let's just go ahead and get on another pair of hands. And here we have him with his kind of like clawing or grabbing hands. And the hands look really good. Again, we already went over what they look like up close. This is just what they look like on the figure. Super cool. Super nice. This is like if he's grabbing someone and is about to throw them, or maybe he's getting ready to fight with his little tiger kind of fist. Super cool. Very, very awesome. And another thing, this is his first default head. This is the head that he comes with once he comes out of the packaging. Just wanted to point that out there, just in case if you were wondering, or if you weren't paying attention. And there you go. Now let's just go ahead and get into his last pair of hands. And here he is with his default hands. These are his fisted hands, ready to fight hands. So let's go ahead and talk about that. This is what it looks like on the figure. Super neat, super awesome. Again, we already went up close and said how they look, what great detail they went into it. Just like with all the other hands and accessories with this figure. So there's really not much to talk about. This is what it looks like. Super cool. So let's just go ahead and start getting into the articulation. And here we have Raphael ready to talk about articulation. As always, we'll start from bottom and go to the top. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Starting off with the feet here, we do have some ankle pivot right here. Same with the other leg. Very cool, very nice. We also can move his foot up about that much. And it can go back about this much as well. Very cool. I would be mindful though of whenever you are moving his feet here, because I did get some paint chip right there. So do be mindful of that whenever you are posing him in any kind of crazy poses with his feet moved. Now, he does have double jointed knees. Now, with these guards right here, they do get in the way. And my figure, as I said in the beginning of the video, his ankle or thigh kind of leg right here, or calf, kept popping off. So anytime I try and go past the point, it will just pop off. So for mine, my figure, the figure's leg can go all the way up about that much without any popping off. This one, not so much, only because this one was the one coming off. But that's very nice, very high up, almost to a shell kick. Oh, look, there it goes. So almost to a shell kick, which is still very good regardless. So you can get him into some pretty crazy poses. And it's not like it's a bad thing whenever his leg pops off. All you have to do is just pop it back into place. Now, right here, he can do a nice, cool split about, let's see. There we go. About that much without pushing it too far. So it's a decent split. You can kick up his leg about that much, almost into a sitting position, or if he fell back, and you can kick it back. You can't kick this one back right here so far as this one, because the padding right here limits its mobility, so it stops right here. And this one can't go any further because this right here gets in its way as well. So they can go back about this much. This one goes back further while his left one can't. But still, regardless, that's very cool. It's a good amount of posability for his legs. He has no ab crunch or any type of swivel, so there's no torso kind of crunch or movement. But we can now talk about his arms when my size fell. So he can go up into about a almost, I would say almost a little bit past T-pose. So he can go out into a T-pose kind of stand, almost a little bit past it. The shoulder pad gets in the way, but besides that, he can go into a good amount. Posability. Of course, you can bend the arms. And again, the arm guard right here, or the padding right here on his elbows, get in the way of any further mobility, so do keep that in mind whenever you are posing him. But he does have double jointed elbows, so you can get a good amount of posability right there. Of course, he has his wrist swivel right here, and they can move back and in. So, very cool. Looks like he's doing a little chicken dance, or he's getting ready to fight. Now for his head, he can look down about that much, and he can look up about that much as well. Let's see if you can go back. No, about that much, even with the bandana out of the way. He has a nice head tilt as well. And you can, of course, do a little 360 with his head. So very cool, very nice. A lot of posability with this figure. I would say that the Last Ronin figures, I believe, had way more posability, but then again, they didn't have that much padding as this one does. So, besides that, he has a great amount of articulation. So let's just go ahead and get into some size and comparisons now. And here we have Raphael standing next to the Last Ronin, aka Michelangelo, the youngest brothers. Now, Mikey is definitely taller than him for sure, but then again, in the comics, he did get bigger and a lot taller whenever April first saw him again after the whole war that went on. So I would say this is about accurate whenever it comes down to comics, to where Mikey did get bigger than he originally was before everything happened, which we'll find out how that looks once we do a review on the Last Ronin Michelangelo over there. But besides that, they both look great together. I think this is really cool, size comparison wise. I think it's about perfect to the right scale. So let's go ahead and bring in some other turtles. And here we have the BST AXN Ninja Turtle figures, besides Raphael, which we'll do a review on here very shortly. So, these figures were already smaller than the Last Ronin, but right now they seem almost close. It's Donnie. Donnie seems more closer to Raphael than the other two. So let me go ahead and show y'all what that looks like. So here we have Donnie right next to the Last Ronin Raphael, and he's just a bit shorter. I mean he's shorter for sure. You can tell he's shorter. He's not just a little bit shorter. Now this guy's gonna fall. But now the other two turtles are definitely way shorter for sure. And then with my Mikey as well, having that defect with his leg makes him even shorter. But besides that, these figures, I don't like them too much. Very cool, very aesthetically pleasing, but besides everything else, not that much. But besides that, let's just go ahead and get into our last comparison. And here he is standing next to the Mezco Spider-Man SH Figure Arts Anti-Ox suit and Spider-Man 2099 from Marvel Legends. Now, these figures are super close to being the same height as Raphael. Let's start off with the Mezco. Oops, almost dropped him. Mezco Spider-Man seems to be about the same height, maybe just a bit taller, but very cool nonetheless. And if you have any other Mezco figures, they would look great with the turtles. Now, I think Spider-Man here is a bit shorter than most Mezco, so do keep that in mind. Then we have our SH Figure Arts Anti-Ox suit, which is just a bit shorter than the Last Ronin Raphael. Which, I mean, I figured because SH Figure Arts has a tendency of having smaller figures than most. So I figured he was going to be smaller. And then we have our Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2099, who is definitely taller. You can definitely tell he's taller. Let me go ahead. Oops. Let me go ahead and fix his head. There we go. You can definitely tell Marvel Legends Spider-Man is taller than the Last Ronin Raphael, not the Last Ronin. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure most Marvel Legends will be taller, but there are some that are a bit shorter than Spider-Man 2099. So, besides that, these comparisons look great. I enjoy this figure a lot. It's a great figure. And I really hope y'all enjoyed this video today. I know I haven't posted lately. That's because I've been busy. But hopefully y'all enjoy this video. I will be making way more videos here in the future. Again, I have all those figures in the back to review, as well as some other ones. And of course, it's not all going to be turtles. It's going to be many things. So do stay tuned for that. And besides that, I'll see y'all guys in the next one.